Since 2012, cash receipts received by farmers for corn have decreased by 34%. However, at the same time, expenses have been steadily increasing. I'm Caleb Osborne with Corvus to present a solution. First, let's talk more about the problem. As you can see by the data from the USDA, revenues have been steadily decreasing and production expenses have been consistently increasing. The reason for this is that farmers are producing a commodity. The price is determined by the markets. They also they don't produce their own inputs, so they have very little control over those expenses. Despite the global need for crop production, it's becoming less viable for farmers to stay in operation. Corvus believes that the solution to this is with data-driven insights that will enable the farmers to make the decisions they need to solve the problem. These insights will allow farmers to effectively reallocate the resources to improve yields and increase their profits. Some of those resources I'm talking about are things such as their time and inputs such as the nitrogen fertilizer and water and soil additives that go into that. So that all sounds great, but what do those insights actually look like? Let's look at two different farms, or two different fields for one farmer. This is a picture of a soybean farm, just taken from a normal camera. Looks like a very green, lush, healthy soybean farm. However, when we fly over with our hyperspectral cameras, we see a very different picture. Here, the red and the yellow pockets in the field indicate poor health nutrition, while the green indicate a much healthier plant. This is a completely different field, and again, a completely different picture. This field is much healthier. It's going to require less maintenance to maintain that target yield. The insights that Corvus will provide to farmers will enable them to make the field level decisions that they need to make to improve their yields and improve their profitability. Corvus creates these pictures by mounting hyperspectral cameras onto airplanes and UAVs. It'll collect the data, bring it back, process it, and then turn it into this image you saw earlier. Now, the next part is the actual exciting part, because this is the real opportunity for long-term growth in the data. Corvus will immediately offer long-term data storage solutions, as well as creating a proprietary software package called Data Nest that will allow farmers to interact with that data from a tablet at any point in time, as well as accept data from our competitors and other third-party solutions, so that the farmers can house and manage that data all in one spot. These farmers will be located in Illinois. Just in Illinois, there's $15 billion in corn and soybean production per year. There's about 75,000 farms and 27 million acres of farmland. It's a huge crop producer. We'll then expand into Iowa, which is another very large corn producer. It will be headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri, for a couple reasons. The first is that it's the biotechnology capital of the world. The very low cost of living. There's a lot of resources for startups with incubators. And then the location, it will allow us to access both Illinois and Iowa, so we can maintain those personal relationships with our clients. Market research has indicated that the best way to target these consumers is with direct mail marketing. Direct mail marketing will allow us to target using the data from the USDA on a county level, so we can target the specific areas of the farmers we want to go after. And the last benefit to location is that it provides insulation from competition. Currently, there's no competition operating in Illinois. Now, of course, we don't expect this to maintain forever, and we believe that our full offering of services will enable us to defend our market share. Again, focusing on long-term growth from that Data Nest software, the software that will allow third-party data to be able to come in and manage in one spot, so the farmer has a single and simple user interface. Another competitive edge that we provide is our team. Corvus really got off the ground while I was working in St. Louis with Kyle at a firm called KBM Group. KBM Group focuses in data management and marketing. There, he got some great experience into direct mail, into consumer databases, into analytics. And I had some exposure into the leadership required to operate a big company. The next part, which is a little more interesting and just as important, is our upbringing. We're both from very small, rural, agriculturally focused communities in both Illinois and Missouri. So we have a fundamental understanding of those relationships that the business decisions are based on in that industry. And that experience will allow us, or has allowed us, to create our pricing structure. Very unique, very important is farmers pay for everything on a per acre basis. We'll do the same with our services. It'll all be per acre. We'll also offer a tiered pricing structure to allow farmers to choose the package that's right for them. As you can see from this revenue graph, it's a very cyclical industry. All the revenue is generated in the growing season, which is in the summer. We're taking this into account and trying to diversify in other industries that can use these assets, which are the hyperspectral cameras. There's a picture of the camera up there, and these are some of the other industries that we can use. There'll be a resource if we need to liquefy our assets in that case, but more importantly, it's a huge opportunity for us to grow our business beyond just agriculture. Corvus was founded and designed from the get-go for long-term growth with its founders staying on for long-term. We're asking for $380,000 for 30% of the company, and with this, we can lead farmers into the future of agriculture. Thank you.
Are you any kind of concerned about selling them a data solution? Because it doesn't seem like they might like technology.
Sure. Yes, the question is if we're going to go old school with our marketing, then why are we going new school with our offering? We actually have a cool slide on this. It just shows that the average age is 58, so in the baby boomer phase, which is why they prefer that direct mail. And we are conscious about the scare of big data, and that's why we want to offer the full solution. Some of our competitors will just sell you a UAV and a camera, and you go do the work yourself. However, we're going to come in and we're going to handle it, from soup to nuts, as they say. So we're going to go in, collect the data ourselves, provide the analysis, and then provide the storage long term.
So if the solution here increases production, and you already said it's a commodity, if there's more of that commodity on the market, will that not drive down the prices even more? And how do you be thought about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the question is, if we're just going to increase production where it's already commoditized pricing, how are we actually going to increase profits? And part of this, and why we haven't said that we're specifically focused on just reducing costs or increasing yield, is that depending on the year can really depend on our recommendation. So whenever we saw the one field with all the red pockets and everything, the recommendation might have been just manage what you have, because you have a lot of other green fields, and you don't want to produce too much. So it might just be a cost-saving measure where you're saying you have a green field here, you don't need to put any more inputs in it, just hold off. So you can save money there because the prices aren't making sense to go forward.
So I think from your business plan, you're not going to own airplanes and you're not going to buy drones, right? So explain how you're going to get your camera to provide the service.
Yeah. We've reached out to, and there's networks of crop dusters throughout Illinois, and we've reached out to those people, and they have a lot of downtime whenever they're not actually out spraying the crops, and so they'll let you rent that space for $100 per hour, and you can cover about 200 acres in an hour. And so we'll attach it, and they'll go, and they already know the fields the best. They know it a lot better than we do, and they'll go scan that for us, and we'll take that data and take it back to our computers and process it and analyze it. And then long term would be the drones, because that's where the real cost savings come in, because you can actually flight plan with a computer. They'll take off themselves, fly the flight plan, it'll be a lot more efficient, and then come back, and we won't have to, there'll actually be safer as well, because you won't have an actual person in the air. Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about, you collect the data. Do you have to go to each camera and download the data, or is it feeding into some sort of cloud network or other sort of remote storage so that you don't have to go and physically touch every camera?
Yeah, to answer that directly is that yes, we do have to touch everyone, and and it has to be, we have to take the data from that camera and then put it into our centralized system. The benefit is that we don't have to have one flight per customer. So we're going to line up, once we have our customers, we'll have that, because it's not going to take 4 hours, which is the available flight time that you can do this imaging in, because you need the sunlight. We'll fly over a few farms, and then at the end of the day, we'll collect that data, put it into our centralized database, and then the farmers can access it from there.